Assalamu alaikum students. In history, our today's topic is the Khilafat movement. Here we will discuss the background of Khilafat movement. Uh, Students, in 20th century, Turkey was a Muslim country, and its ruler was known as Sultan. He was being considered as Khalifa of the Muslim community throughout the world, and he ruled over an empire which included important religious centers just like Mecca, Medina, Jerusalem, even Damascus, Baghdad, and Turkey. Turkey was the center of Islamic empire, and the system introduced in Turkish Empire was called or known as Khilafat. The Sultan was the figure of immense importance in Muslim world. In 1914, Britain went on World War One, with Germany. There were some countries who were fighting on the side of Britain the same way certain Western countries were fighting on the side of Germany against Britain. Uh, in that war, the Turkish Empire was fighting on the side of Germany against the Britain. So initially, while facing continuous defeats on different battlefields, the Britain needed support and help from the Indians, especially Muslims. So it created a very serious problem for the Britain in India. They wanted the Indian Muslim to fight in the war against Turkey and Germany, but they knew that the Indian Muslim would not take part in any type of fighting, uh, which led to the Khilafat being overthrown. So, to solve that problem, the Britain informed the Indian Muslims that the British would respect the rights of Khalifa and that the Turkish Empire would be maintained, and the British, they would make no damage to the Turkish Empire or Caliphate. So at the end, so after assurance, thousands of Muslims, Indian Muslims, they joined British forces and they fought against Germany and Turkey. So uh, later on, the Britain got victorious, and at the end of the war, the peace treaties were drawn up, showing how the defeated nations were to be treated. So, in the same way, the Treaty of Versailles set out what would happen to Germany. So, its armed forces were greatly reduced. I'm talking about Germany. German forces were reduced, and its colonies were taken away, uh, and the country was split. It was divided into two parts by making a new state, Poland. So Germans were also forced to pay a huge sum to the victorious allies for the damage caused by the fighting. So similar measures were taken against Germany's ally Austria. Austria in that war was the supporter, and it was fighting on the side of Germany. So these treaties normally worried the Indian Muslims, and in view of the punishments imposed upon Germany and Austria, it was quite apparent and visible to see that how Turkey would be treated. And furthermore, the British Prime Minister Lloyd George uh, announced that Turkish Empire should be split in the same way that Germany and Austria had seen their empires taken away. So the Indian Muslims were outraged uh, at the suggestions, and they began to organize opposition to the British plan. So they started a movement just to protect the Khilafat and Turkish Empire to dismember. There were certain some more reasons for the formation of Khilafat movement, just like the Khilafat movement sprang solely from the British threat to dismember the Turkish empire. So there were severe fears to the Muslims. That's why they started that movement. Furthermore, in the past, Afghanistan and Persia, means Iran, they were the reasons of rivalry between Russia and Britain. So both wanted to get the control upon both these countries who were Muslim countries, and both were agreed on how later both were agreed on how Afghanistan and Persia were to be run without knowing the views of the Muslim population. So that was another reason behind the formation of Khilafat movement after First World War.